Hello everybody, Impiator here, and welcome back to my newcomer's guide to Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This is part 7. So in the last episode, we ended up wrapping out the fight against Genichiro, and as you can see, the weather has kind of changed at this point, so there are a couple of different progression points in the game where the environment will change ever so slightly. We're going to go ahead and rest at the Sculptor's Idol. And we now have the enhanced attack power option for Genichiro. I actually forgot to tell you to grab the one for the butterflies, so again, if you haven't already used that, go ahead and use it now. And it'll increase your attack power. And then I do want to call out the Reflections of Strength now that we've got a few of them under our belt. The Reflection of Strength is something that came in kind of after the game originally launched. It was kind of an addition to prepare you for another edition. So there is a gauntlet that you can face after you finish the game, more specifically after you finish the final boss of the game, that allows you to fight more difficult versions in a gauntlet of multiple bosses in a row. And the Reflection of Strength is meant to be basically your prep for that. These are all the same bosses that you fought, however, they are limiting you on how much attack power you're going to have in each of these. In addition, your defenses are going to be more or less at base level, so enemies are going to hit a lot harder than they probably did during the fights, because again, we have been collecting items up to this point to make that easier. So these are going to be more difficult versions of their base fights, though these particular ones do have the same attack patterns, and everything is the same. Once you get into the gauntlet, however, the gauntlet will have what's referred to as inner versions of the different bosses that you can access in this game, and those will have different combat mechanics to some of the bosses. So Genichiro, for example, has more attacks, more combos, as does the final boss of the game. There's a few others that are represented in that gauntlet as well. But you can come back here to refight any of these fights if you want to, though this is meant to be kind of an end game thing, but if you want to periodically go back and fight them, you can. One of the benefits of fighting them here is you're going to have access to all of your attacks, all of your gear, and if you use any of your gear, you're not going to actually use up any of the items in question. You gain them all back once you finish the fight, whether you win or not. You also aren't going to actually incur a death whenever you die against any of these either. So something to consider in case you're wanting to get better at these fights, especially in prep for some of the more difficult fights later. With that, though, we're going to step inside here, talk to Emma, and she's going to talk to you, or tell you that she basically works for Isshin Ashina, which is Genichiro's grandfather. Again, they all have kind of your and Kuro's best interest at heart at this point. They are not with Genichiro. We got another idol to grab, and then we're going to go ahead and talk to Kuro.
I have come.
Yeah.
Let us. We must. Yes.
I will.
So at this phase, you cannot pick the Help Kuro option. If you click on it, it'll basically send you back to this page. Later in the game, there will be a deviation off of the main story that you can choose to go with, and you'll fight 2 separate bosses, and then the game will end. That is referred to as the Shura ending. And then there's also the other main endings that will continue if you pick the other option. We'll talk about that decision whenever we make it to that point. It'll be a little while. We still have to visit several places before we can do that. So for now, go ahead and hit the Obey the Iron Code option. And then go ahead and talk to him again. And he's going to give you the Immortal Severance text. At that point, he's going to tell you about the incense that's over here. Examine it, and then we're going to talk to him again. So while he's walking away, we're going to go ahead and pop over here. Grab a scrap magnetite. We also have an eavesdrop opportunity on him. So in order to get all of the ending options, We will have to perform eavesdrops on him, on Emma, and him whenever they are having conversations together, as well as the sculptor a little later too. So you don't have to do the eavesdrop now. You can do them all at the same time if you want to, but I will call out the moments where you want to make sure that you've had your eavesdrop opportunities completed. Otherwise, again, you won't be able to access all of the endings. So I'll go ahead and eavesdrop since I have the opportunity to do so. If you do have multiple opportunities, by the way, you'll want to do one eavesdrop opportunity, come over and rest at an idol. And then you can go, again, kind of step away from him. And see if there's another opportunity. So, currently there is not. So now we'll go ahead and talk to him.
Lord, how has it's in yes, and
he's going to tell you about Ishii and Ashina, who is not in the tower right now, so we're going to head out here. Ishin will not be in the tower, by the way, unless you talk to him, so you have to get him up to this point in the conversation, otherwise he will not show up. Otherwise, just step out here and we're going to follow the purple smoke. Around the corner here is Agashi and Sugar, and then this is where Ishin is. So come in here and talk to him.
About the
So he's going to give you some sake. So in the game you will get multiple different versions of sake, and Ishin, Emma, and the sculptor will all have different words of wisdom to say based on what kind of sake you drink with them. In addition, there is a point later in the game, near the very end of the game, where some events will happen, and Wolf won't really have caught on to what's going on if you don't give sake to all three people. Though I will say the sculptor is the most important of the bunch to do so with. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the sake. They will not, by the way, allow you to drink with them with the same type of sake more than once. So this ensures that you're not going to end up wasting any of the sake as long as you get all of the sake in the game. So we can go ahead and say yes to him. And then we can ask him about Immortal Severance. He'll tell us about the Mortal Blade. And then he's going to tell us to go to Senpu Temple in order to obtain the Mortal Blade. You will notice, by the way, that he calls you Sekiro. Just like the Tengu, the Ashina Tengu. Mysterious. Worst kept secret in this game. Anyway, if you head down here, you're going to notice these three Nightjar enemies. These are the same enemies that we ran into earlier. I actually had you come up through here to basically have an alternate path to fighting Genichiro if you did not want to fight the, what's his name, the Ishin Elite guy we saw earlier. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and head back and talk to Kuro again. And let her know that we have talked to Ishin. Now you can go ahead and give her sake. If you've got any gourd seeds, go ahead and give them to her. Otherwise, you can talk to her. And now we're going to go ahead and head into here. Grab the Gunfort Shrine Key. And then we're going to talk to Kuro again. So we got the Sakura droplet earlier. We're going to go ahead and give it to him. And that's going to increase our resurrective power. And then we're going to ask him about the flower, and he's going to give us a note, which tells us basically where we can find it. Long story short, we're going to be facing the Guardian Ape in order to obtain that, so that'll be quite a ways away. It'll be a little while before we tackle that.
I was there and
Alright, so with that, we also have another route outside. We can go examine this. And then there's one final thing I want to show y'all before we progress, and that is the fact that this is a shortcut. So this takes us back to the dilapidated temple. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and head back. So we have a few things that we need to complete at the castle before we progress. We also technically have two paths. We can either go for the Sunken Valley, or we can go for the Senpu Temple. I generally prefer the Senpu Temple first, so we're actually going to take that route first thing at this point. So from here, what I recommend that we do is... I'm going to basically drop down and get back into the little section here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and jump down here now. And I'd like to kill this guy first. Alright, so we got him, and then down here, we've got a shortcut. This is going to open up a path back to the beginning of the castle area. And then we're going to head back. So in here, we got the eel liver. We also get Sabumaru. So we'll have to take this over to the sculptor first, but it's a prosthetic, which is a sword, and it is a very fast sword. It does cost, of course, spirit emblems, however, and it builds up a poison bar on the enemy that you hit with it. It's very good for enemies that we need to go through fast. Honestly, I tend to like it for some of the enemies that are in the Fountainhead Palace, which is one of the last areas of the game. Otherwise, though, interesting weapon. We also got Gokon Sugar, and we're going to go ahead and head out here. So open this up, and before we do anything, we're actually going to drop into the water. Mibu Possession Balloon, and then we're going to go ahead and climb up here. I'm going to stealth kill this guy. And we have an eavesdrop conversation here. Now this eavesdrop conversation is pretty important because it will reveal that the castle does not have enough salt. And this is something that, if you remember when we talked to Anayama earlier, the peddler, he actually wanted to know what the castle needed most of, because he thought he could make money off of that. And to progress his story, which is going to get us a really nice item a little bit later, we want to make sure that we complete this particular eavesdrop opportunity and then go talk to him. So we've done that. I'll go ahead and kill these guys. Oh no. Ah. Can't believe I missed that opportunity to backstab him. Oh well. So I've got a heavy coin first from that. So if we go this way, we are back to where we were just a moment ago before we dove into the water. And then next we're going to go ahead and head out here. This place is a little bit dangerous because there are some enemies that are going to be shooting us with explosives. So Before we head down there, we're going to go ahead and head over here. And from the grave, we're going to grab a dragon's blood droplet. Again, this will be used to cure dragon rot. We're going to come over here for Gashin sugar. And how you do this next part is kind of up to you, but I'm going to try to do it as stealthily as possible, so I'm going to climb up here.
Hey, you didn't see a little scoundrel come running through here, did you? We're after one, and I'm fairly sure he came this way.
Alright, so backstab this guy.
Get a black hat on, short little guy.
Thing is, nobody's passed this way at all. The only thing that did look like some kind of animal. A raccoon? Maybe a
That was
badger?
weird.
Couldn't say for sure.
So we're going to wait for this guy to turn around, then we're actually going to do a new technique, the Blood Smoke Ninjutsu. Alright, so I'm going to drop down, get behind him. Dang it. Now there we go. Not exactly like I planned it, but that works. How did he get up there? I don't know. Not at all. Alright, so this next part can be kind of a pain. I'm going to go ahead and head back up. And the way I like to do this is drop down here, drop down here, and then we're going to kill this guy. I'm gonna kill this guy. Then we're gonna head up here and we're going to kill the guy that's up here. So there's one of these guys who will clang the bell right here. Kill him before he does. We'll grab a ceramic shard, a Gachin sugar, a coin purse, and a fistful of ash. Pop up here, and there's an enemy right here, which is the last one who is out here. So come out here, grab some black gunpowder, and this is the bridge I was talking about before. So eventually they will fill back up this bridge and fix it, but for now, we're going to go ahead and head back. Okay, so before we do anything more, we're going to go ahead and buy some stuff. We need 1,600 for what I want to buy. So drop down here, and this is the Black Hat Badger.
But they
No.
but I the name first and then
You're a
so I've got to been
Don't attack him, otherwise you will not be able to buy his stuff. And we want the Iron Fortress. This is going to give us the umbrella ability, and it's going to come in really useful. In fact, there's a fire version of it, which is really useful against one of the secret bosses of the game. There's also one for terror buildup, which is going to be really beneficial against enemies that can inflict terror. So that's going to be Headless as well as Shichimen warriors. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that. The other things I'm not too worried about for now, but he does have the anti-air death blow text, Anti-air death blow basically allows you to jump into the air with an enemy and then perform a death blow on them. The enemy basically has to jump into the air, and you have to be able to time it where you're in the air with them. So it's a little hard to time, but it can be useful in very specific situations. Bite down will basically end you. It'll unalive you, and basically it won't utilize it won't reduce your ability to resurrect. So you could do it, for example, to get enemies to walk away from you. That way you can potentially get in a backstab as they do, because you can immediately resurrect afterwards. And then Yashariku's Sugar is basically Akko's Sugar, but it's hardcore because it gives you an even larger attack power boost, but it halves your total vitality and posture.
Well,
So nice to have,
nothing
not
to
important for us
think
right now,
about.
though. Anyway, we'll be meeting him in Senpo Temple again, so this will not be the last time we get to hang out with him. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and travel over to the dilapidated temple.
Oh, you said it does. What? No, man.
And then we're going to go ahead and... Oops, I didn't mean to do upgrade. We're going to fit the 3 that we've got. So we got the Mist Raven over in the Harada Estate. We got the Loaded Umbrella just now. And we got the Sabimaru a few minutes ago as well. And let's see, does it have any upgrades for us? So we could get the spring-loaded flame vent, which would allow us to start down the umbrella tree. We are going to want to go down the umbrella tree eventually, so I'm going to go ahead and use up a few things for 400
Another
in money.
you need.
So this is what we're going to want, especially for any of the headless. So we're going to end up having to get another prosthetic tool, which will allow us to complete this section, and then we'll get the long spark, then another unknown that we'll have to get, and then the lilac umbrella. So those are going to be the probably one of the most important things that we're going to get in this. And then none of the other items are really that beneficial right now, but that's going to be the direction we're going to go, is for the lilac umbrella.
Another.
Okay.
Hey, it's still...
So let's see, what can we sell right now? I don't normally use eel livers, so I will go ahead and sell all of those. I don't usually use ceramic shards, so I'll sell those. I don't normally use snap seeds, so I will sell those. Blood droplets are always good to have.
Until now.
Okay. So now we're going to travel to Ashina Castle. More specifically to the abandoned dungeon entrance. So come down here, and off to the left-hand side, we're going to grab a note. Touches on, supposedly the fragrant stone is enshrined in a village in the Ashina Depths. So that's an item that we'll eventually need to have. It also mentions a guy named Kotaro, who we will be meeting here in a little bit. Next, we're going to come over here and we're going to talk to this guy.
Are you...
That's right.
So he wants you to bring a samurai or a large soldier, such as a member of the Taro troop. We're actually going to bring a large samurai to him. We'll actually be doing that here shortly, if you're able to beat the mini-boss that we're about to try for. So, he wants to experiment on people, however I don't want to give him the alternative, which is Kotaro. So come over here, got a pacifying agent. So these guys are... These guys are basically immortal to the first attack, first death blow. So you'll have to death blow them twice. However, they have a guaranteed drop of pacifying agents. So pacifying agents are going to be super, super important for dealing with any enemies that deal with terror. So I'm going to collect a few of these while I'm here. That guy's not alive. Oh no. I don't want whatever you got. Or I guess I do. Alright, so we got some more pacifying agents. We'll be able to get into that little area behind him after we bring him something, as well as we will have to access an underwater area that leads to there as well. So drop down here for oil. Then we're going to make a right over here, grab some bite down. Okay, so it is up to you at this point if you want to tackle this particular enemy. Let's talk about this boss, or mini-boss I should say. We're going to want Akko's Sugar for it, we're going to want Divine Confetti for it, and we're going to want Pacifying Agents for it. None of the other abilities are really that useful to us. It's just going to be attack, 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 attack until it dies. So this thing has 2 death bar meters. He will only occasionally swing his weapon at you, though it does inflict terror damage to you. In addition, the stuff around him also inflicts terror damage. So what we're going to want to do is, right before we go down to attack him, I'm going to pop an Akko's Sugar, a Divine Confetti, and a Pacifying Agent. Divine Confetti is required for actually doing damage to these guys, so be aware of that. We do need to have that. So with that out of the way, let's get closer to him and then we'll talk more about this. Those things that are floating up will eventually kind of land out into the area around him. We want to avoid those. They will also inflict terror if we run into them. After we do a certain amount of damage to him, he will teleport. Once he teleports, almost every single time he teleports, he will do this blast wave of terror energy. Now this is a really large arena to fight one of these bosses in, so we should be fine. But in the other 2 versions of this fight that we go through, we probably want to have the Lilac Umbrella for. So if you want to hold off on getting the Lilac Umbrella, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and kill him, though, because I think he's easy enough to kill. So, pop a Sugar, pop a Confetti, pop a Pacifying Agent, and then jump down and lock onto him. And we want to attack him as quick as possible. As you can see, the beat meter is beginning to build up. So he's teleporting. that we want to stay away from. If you attack him while he's casting it, you might get lucky and it will interrupt his cast. So run along the side of those. And we got one of his bars. Let's pop another Akko Sugar. And we ran out of Divine Confetti. So as you can see, he only swung at us one time the entire fight. Everything else was just his magic stuff. So now we got the Ceremonial Tanto. What this does is you can basically trade half of your health in order to regain some of your Spirit Emblems. So if you're running low on Spirit Emblems and you need them for the fight that you're in, this is nice to have. So with that done, we're going to go ahead and grab a couple of items around here. And actually I don't want to go that way yet. I want to get the item that's up here real quick. Alright, so got another pacifying agent. And Jinzaemon, the purple ninja that we met earlier, is actually up here. And this is going to be your opportunity to talk to him and get him to go to Dujin. So go ahead and greet him. And then talk to him again. And then lure him to the abandoned dungeon. So he's going to go down there, and in fact there's another item down here, I just realized. And with that, I think that's going to wrap it out, everybody. We completed the Shichimen Warrior, we've done kind of the rest of the cleanup in the Ashina Castle area, and we're about to head to the Senpu Temple from here. But until then, thank you everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Later.